If you go no contact, the narcissist will do this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. What happens when you finally decide to take your power back? What happens when you draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough? I'll tell you what happens. The narcissist panics. The narcissist loses control. Because here's the truth. They never expected you to walk away. They never believed you had the strength to shut the door and lock it. But now you're doing something that shakes them to their core. You are choosing you. And let me be clear about something. When you go no contact, the narcissist will react. But their reaction is not your problem. Their manipulation is not your responsibility. Their pain is not your burden to carry. See, they will do everything in their power to pull you back in. The love bombing, the guilt trips, the fake apologies, the smear campaigns. It's all part of their game. But here's the secret they don't want you to know. Their power only exists if you give them access to your mind, your emotions, your life. When you cut them off, when you reclaim your energy, when you stop feeding their need for control, guess what? They lose and you win. But here's the deal. It won't be easy. They will test you. They will push every button they installed in you. They will play the victim. They will make you doubt yourself. They will try to get inside your head. And this is where you have to stand tall. This is where you have to remind yourself, you are not that scared, broken version of yourself anymore. You are free. So what do? You keep moving forward. You stay strong. You remind yourself that peace is more powerful than chaos, that self-respect is worth more than their approval, and that your future is bigger than your past. No contact isn't about punishing them. It's about healing you. And let me tell you, when you commit to this journey, when you stay the course, when you refuse to look back, you are going to discover something absolutely life-changing. You don't need them. You never did. And you are so much stronger than they ever wanted you to believe. So stand tall, stay no contact, and watch as your life transforms into something so powerful, so peaceful, so unstoppable. Because you chose you. The narcissist will panic because they lose control over you. The moment you decide to go no contact, something shifts. Something powerful. You take back your energy, your time, your peace. And let me tell you something. They feel it. They feel that loss of control, like oxygen being cut off. And they don't like it. Because for so long, they've fed off your emotions, your reactions, your need for validation. Now you're starving them. See, here's what most people don't realize. Narcissists don't see relationships the way healthy people do. To them, relationships are about control. They don't connect on a deep emotional level. They don't love the way you love. They manipulate, they dominate, they make you feel small so they can feel big. But when you remove yourself from their game, suddenly they're left with nothing, and that terrifies them. They'll go into panic mode. They'll start questioning everything. Why aren't you answering my texts? Why aren't you reacting? Why aren't you falling for my tricks anymore? Because they're used to you being predictable. They're used to you being available. And now you're something they don't understand. You're untouchable. Listen to me. When you go no contact, you shake their entire world. You disrupt their comfort zone. You force them to face a reality they never thought possible, a reality where they don't get to control you anymore. And they hate that because their power isn't in who they are, it's in who they can manipulate you into believing they are. They'll throw tantrums. They'll send messages, emails, voicemails. They'll send flying monkeys, mutual friends, family members, anyone they can use to get back into your life. They'll pretend to be sorry. They'll pretend to have changed. But let me tell you something. They haven't changed. They're just scared. Scared of losing their grip on you, scared of losing their ability to drain you, scared of facing themselves without you there to take the fall. And here's the most important thing. You have to recognize their panic for what it is. It's not love. It's not regret. It's not self-awareness. It's control. They're panicking because they lost their power source. And you are that power source. But not anymore. Because now you know better. Now you see the game. Now you understand that their panic is proof that you're doing the right thing. Because if they truly cared about you, they would have treated you right when they had the chance. So when the messages start coming, when the guilt tripping begins, when the sob stories roll in, you stay strong. You remind yourself that their panic is their problem, not yours. You remember that your job isn't to soothe them, fix them, or make them feel better. Your job is to heal, to move forward, to rebuild yourself into the person you are always meant to be. Because the moment you go no contact, you aren't just taking away their power, you're stepping into yours. They will try to pull you back in with love bombing, guilt trips, and lies. This is where the real test begins. Because let me tell you something, narcissists don't just let go. They don't just walk away, they come back. And they come back hard because they need you. They need your energy. They need your attention. And when you cut them off, they go into full-blown survival mode. At first, they might act like they don't care. They might ignore you, act like they've moved on, pretend that your silence doesn't bother them. But don't be fooled. That's just their ego talking. Because the moment they feel like they're really losing you, the moment they realize you're actually serious about no contact, they'll switch gears. Suddenly, they're changed. Suddenly, they're self-aware. Suddenly, they're ready to be the person you always wanted them to be. But hear me when I say this, it's all an illusion. It's all a tactic. Because they don't love you, they love controlling you. And right now, they're losing that control. They'll send long messages about how much they miss you, about how they finally understand what they did wrong, about how they can't live without you. They'll bring up the good times, the memories, the moments that made you feel connected. They'll say things like, I just want to talk, or I just want closure. But listen to me. They don't want closure. They want access. And if the love bombing doesn't work, they'll flip the script. They'll try guilt. They'll play the victim. They'll say things like, how could you do this to me? Or I was always there for you. They'll tell your friends and family that you're being unfair, that you're cruel, that you've changed. They'll make you question yourself. They'll make you wonder, am I the bad guy? But you're not. You are not the villain in their story. You're just no longer the character they get to control. And when guilt doesn't work, they'll go for lies. They'll smear your name. They'll spread rumors. They'll try to turn people against you. Because if they can't control you directly, they'll try to control how others see you. But let me tell you something. None of it matters. Because the people who truly know you, they won't believe the lies. The people who truly love you, they'll stand by your side. And the ones who fall for their games, they were never your people to begin with. Your job isn't to explain yourself. Your job isn't to defend yourself. Your job is to keep moving forward. Because every single time they try to pull you back in, every single time they try to manipulate you, they're showing you exactly why you left in the first place. And when you stay no contact, when you don't fall for the love bombing, the guilt, the lies, that's when you win. That's when you truly break free. That's when you reclaim the power that was always yours. And that is when your real healing begins. Their reaction is not your problem. Stay focused on your healing. Let's get something straight right now. You are not responsible for how they feel. You are not responsible for how they react. You are not responsible for their pain, their confusion, or their anger. That's on them. Because here's the truth. Narcissists have spent their entire lives making other people responsible for their emotions. They manipulate, they gaslight, they twist reality to make you believe that everything is your fault. But let me tell you something. You are not their emotional caretaker. You never were. The moment you go no contact, they will act like you've committed the worst betrayal imaginable. They will tell you that you're heartless. They will tell you that you're selfish. They will tell you that you're cruel for cutting them off. But listen to me. That is not your burden to carry. You are not abandoning them. You are not hurting them. You are simply choosing yourself for the first time in a long time. And that is something they never wanted you to do. Because as long as you were focused on their feelings, their reactions, their chaos, you weren't focusing on you. And here's the kicker. They don't actually care about you moving on. They don't actually care about your healing. What they care about is the fact that they no longer have control over you. Because if they truly cared, they wouldn't have treated you the way they did in the first place. But this is where most people get stuck. They feel guilty. They feel responsible. They feel like they owe the narcissist an explanation. But let me ask you something. Did they ever feel guilty for what they did to you? Did they ever take responsibility for how they hurt you? Did they ever give you the closure you deserved? No, they didn't, and they never will. Because narcissists don't believe in accountability. They believe in control. And that's why you have to stay focused. Because the second you start worrying about their feelings, the second you start doubting yourself, the second you start thinking, maybe I should just respond one last time, you are opening the door for them to manipulate you all over again. No contact isn't about punishing them. It's about protecting you. It's about breaking the cycle. It's about finally stepping into the life you were meant to live without their toxic energy weighing you down. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to start healing. You're going to start feeling lighter, freer, more at peace. And that is when they're going to try to pull you back in, because they don't want you to heal. They don't want you to be happy. They want you stuck in the same cycle over and over again forever. But not this time. This time you see the truth. This time you know that their reaction is just another manipulation. This time you remind yourself, I don't owe them anything. I owe myself everything. So let them panic, let them get angry, let them tell whatever story they want. None of it changes the fact that you are done, that you are free, that you are finally choosing you. And that is the most powerful choice you will ever make. They will test you. Stay strong and don't engage. Let me tell you something. When you go no contact, the narcissist will not go down without a fight. They will test you. They will poke, prod, and push every single button they installed in you. And if you're not prepared for it, you might fall right back into their trap. At first, they might play it cool. They might act like they don't care, like your absence doesn't bother them. But that's just a trick. Because the moment they realize that you are serious about cutting them off, they will switch up their tactics. They will send messages just to check in. They will act like they're concerned about you. They will pretend to be the person you always wanted them to be. But it's all a lie. It's just another way to test if they still have access to you. And if you don't respond, if you hold your ground, that's when they'll start trying to trigger you. That's when they'll try to get an emotional reaction out of you. Any reaction. Because to them, even your anger is better than your silence. They will insult you. They will gaslight you. They will remind you of every mistake you've ever made. They will accuse you of things you never did. They will try to make you feel guilty, ashamed, and unworthy. And this is where you have to be stronger than ever. This is where you have to remind yourself that their words mean nothing, that their opinion of you does not define you, that their manipulation has no power over you anymore. Because the second you engage, the second you respond, the second you let them pull you back into their drama, you are giving them exactly what they want. You are proving to them that they still have control over you. But you are done being controlled. You are done being manipulated. You are done being their emotional punching bag. So when they test you, you do nothing. You do not respond. You do not engage. You do not explain yourself. You do not give them even a second of your energy, because that is the only way you truly win. And trust me, it will drive them crazy. They will not understand how you become so strong. They will not understand why their usual tactics aren't working. But that's because you are no longer the person they once knew. You are no longer the person they could manipulate, guilt trip, or break down. You are rising, you are healing. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be. So let them test you, let them throw their tantrums. Let them try every trick in the book. None of it matters. Because you are untouchable now. And nothing feels better than that. You are breaking free, not punishing them. No contact is about your growth. Let's get one thing crystal clear. No contact is not revenge. It is not about making them suffer. It is not about teaching them a lesson. It is about you. It is about your peace, your healing, your power. Because for far too long, they made everything about them. And now it's your turn. See, narcissists will try to twist the story. They will act like you're cutting them off to be cruel, to be petty, to hurt them. They will say things like, why are you doing this to me? Or, I thought you loved me. But that's just more manipulation, because the truth is, if they really cared, they would have treated you right in the first place. They want you to feel guilty. They want you to feel like the bad guy, because if you feel guilty, if you feel like you're being unfair, you might start second guessing yourself. You might start thinking, maybe I should just talk to them one last time. But listen to me, you do not owe them anything. You are not responsible for their feelings. You are not responsible for their healing. You are not responsible for fixing what they broke. Your only responsibility is to yourself, to your own growth, your own happiness, your own future. And here's the kicker. Going no contact isn't even about them. It's about you. It's about protecting your energy, rebuilding your confidence, rediscovering who you are outside of their influence. Because when you were with them, you lost pieces of yourself. You lost your voice, your self-worth, your sense of security. And now you're taking all of that back. It's going to feel strange at first. It's going to feel uncomfortable, because for so long they were the center of your world. But here's what you have to remember. The discomfort you feel now is temporary. The peace that comes later, that lasts forever. Because the moment you truly go no contact, you start to see the world differently. You start to realize how much of your life was being controlled by their manipulation. You start to see how much energy you wasted trying to please someone who was never truly satisfied. And then one day, something incredible happens. You wake up and realize that you don't miss them at all. You don't miss the chaos. You don't miss the gaslighting. You don't miss the constant anxiety. You don't miss the feeling of walking on eggshells. You don't miss questioning your own reality every single day. You realize that breaking free wasn't about punishing them. It was about saving yourself. And that is the moment you know you made the right choice. The real battle is within. Your mind must be stronger than their manipulation. Listen to me, this entire journey, it's a mind game. It's not just about cutting them off physically. It's about cutting them off mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Because here's the truth. They don't need to be in your life to control you. If they still live in your head, if you're still replaying their words, if you're still questioning yourself because of them, then they still have power over you. And this is where the real work begins, because no contact isn't just about blocking their number. It's about undoing the damage they did to your mind. It's about rewiring the way you think. It's about breaking free from the belief that their opinion of you defines your worth. For so long, they planted seeds of doubt inside of you. They made you believe that you weren't good enough. They made you feel like you had to prove your worth. They conditioned you to seek their approval. And now it's time to rip those beliefs out by the roots, because you were never the problem. You were never the weak one. You were never the one who needed to change. They were. And now that you see that, now that you understand that their manipulation was never about you, it was about their own brokenness, you can finally take your power back. But hear me when I say this, it's going to take time. There will be days when the old thoughts creep in, days when you start to doubt yourself, days when you wonder if maybe, just maybe, you were too harsh. But those thoughts, they are not yours. They were put there by the narcissist. And now it's time to replace them. Every single day you remind yourself, I am worthy, I am strong, I am healing, I am free. Every time the doubt creeps in, you shut it down. Every time the guilt rises, you replace it with self-love. Every time you start to miss them, you remind yourself of the pain they caused. Because this battle, it is not fought with words. It is fought in your mind. And the only way you truly win is by mastering your thoughts, by choosing your peace over their chaos, by refusing to let their manipulation define your reality. Because once your mind is free, once you have full control over your thoughts, your emotions, your life, that is when you become truly unbreakable. You win by moving forward. Keep your energy on your future, not your past. This is it. This is where you step into your power. Because let me tell you something. The best revenge, it's not getting back at them. It's not making them jealous. It's not proving anything to them. The best revenge is a life well lived. Because narcissists expect you to stay stuck. They expect you to keep replaying the past. They expect you to keep wondering what if. They expect you to keep looking back. But that is not who you are anymore. You are no longer the person who needed their validation. You are no longer the person who lived for their approval. You are no longer the person who shrank yourself to make them comfortable. You are rising, you are evolving, you are stepping into the most powerful version of yourself. And here's the beautiful thing. When you move forward, when you focus on your future, when you pour all of your energy into building a life that you love, something incredible happens. You stop thinking about them. You stop caring about what they're doing. You stop wondering if they miss you. Because the truth is, they don't matter anymore. Your happiness, that's what matters. Your dreams, that's what matters. Your healing, that's what matters. So instead of looking back, you look forward. Instead of questioning yourself, you trust yourself. Instead of replaying the past, you start designing your future, because that is how you win. That is how you break free. That is how you finally reclaim your life. And one day you'll look back and realize that the best decision you ever made was walking away. Not because it hurt them, not because it made them regret losing you, but because it allowed you to finally find yourself. And that, my friend, is the most powerful victory of all. You did it. Now keep moving forward. Look at you. Look at how far you've come. You made the decision that most people are too afraid to make. You broke free from the cycle. You walked away from the manipulation, the pain, the lies. And now you stand in your power. This journey has not been easy. It has tested you. It has pushed you. It has forced you to face parts of yourself you never wanted to see. But through it all, you have risen. You have grown. You have transformed. And that is something no one can take away from you. Because no contact wasn't just about cutting them off. It was about choosing yourself. It was about deciding that you are worthy of peace, of love, of happiness. It was about breaking free from the illusion that you ever needed them to feel whole.